A lot of moisture, boys. Okay, gonna go move some cows. Things are good. Oh my gosh, it is so soggy. Yeah, there's lots out here, but I'd far rather we've got the moisture. We'll move them on. So I've now found out this was a coyote den. That's how the bulls have it filled in. Hello, girls. Wanna come? Yeah, they'll follow me. Go to that gate. The horde. Oh, I know, I'm being mean. Go that way, go on. Got a bit of a... You guys can see that, right? He's kind of walking hard on his left hind. That's hard to say. So yeah, I'll do a walk around the fence just to check on insulators. Attaboy, Marmar. Let's go, bud. Hi, Penny. Yeah, 2 more weeks here. 2 more weeks and then we move to another pasture. So my plan is, if you can hear me, is to fence those paddocks off. Put gates on them. There's Penny's wee dip dog. Go! There's Bowie. Nice sweet girl. Yeah, she didn't have a baby this year. Took a year off. Yeah, now we're back. How's it looked after spring runoff? Quite a bunch, so we'll get another grazing off it. So this is one of our old fancies, like 2-strand. Sorry if you can't hear me, I'll hold it back here. Yeah, so these fancies internal are not as crazy, well, I'm not as neurotic about. That's why they're only too hot. Like here, yeah, we put barb on, but so, do a walk. Try not to feed too many wood ticks and see how we go. Okay, I'm going to tap the turn so you get the camera sheltering behind me. So yeah, there's the culverts where the beavers were, so that's the north of the section. So pasture 5, pasture 6. So so they're odd shaped. But when we divvied them up, we tried to make it so that the acreages were still fairly close for time. Grazing time in acres. Woo! No way. So, yeah, I walk around. I walk either side of the shelter belt, and then I just walk around the other paddock. That way I can look at the fields, I can look at the fans. The girls kind of meander up past me. I can just lay eyes on everything. Versus ripping around on a side-by-side or something like that. I like to walk. And it's good for me. But I know some of you all out there have it. Now Piper Doug and Mrs. Piper Doug have this blinking cold that's going around. It's in the back of the sinuses and the throat, so I'm walking it off. Walking it off. Okay, you won't hear me, so I'll go do the rest. I know, in case anybody new who doesn't know, we are all natural, technically organic, not licensed. We don't use any fertilizers except what we produce. And yeah, I was amiss to... That's awkward. I was amiss to conversation with Mrs. Piper Duck. And it's one of the reasons that we make so much straw. And I know a lot of people have said that, like, gosh, we do a lot of bedding, we do a lot of straw. And that's the trade-off. We don't pay for fertilizer. We pay for straw. We pay for organic matter. So we bring the straw in, and yeah, we'll probably bed 50% more often than most people because we want to make a lot of manure. That's the trade-off. So that's why we make 400 or 500 straw bales every year, and we age straw out for dietary too. But that way we have enough fertilizer to make fields like this. These fields haven't been fertilized. I think these pastures, more than 10 years. It's been more than 10 years since these have been fertilized. And this grazing stand is, Dad might be able to correct me here. This grazing stand I think is at least 14 or 15 years old. And it's a nice mix. Like, yeah, over here it looks like a lot of alfalfa. But you can look out there and see a lot of Timothy. Meadow brome. Yeah. It's an old stand, but we put the manure back out here, which returns seeds. And we don't pulverize it with the cows. So anyway, I'll go meet the girl. And word of the wise, been walking the fence line and watching your cows. Always remember to look down. Yeah, caught that one just in time. Okay. Extreme close up. So one of the reasons, dig that over there. Where's the magnet? Oh well. One of the reasons that we have a second Honda ATV, and it wasn't just a midlife crisis because I've always wanted to have one of these again because I had one of these when I was a kid over in Scotland, is the quad is just for fencing. This guy, yes I know, I need to find a side panel. This guy is gonna be for this purchase. Yeah. Now, probably not so much the boom sprayer, but I'll probably leave that on. But the wand. So this will be used for spraying fence lines. So I've got to bring the skid steer in. probably take the pressure washer out and then grab that down, and then I'll probably mount the tank on a bit of plywood or something to sit on it. So yeah, this will help do spot spraying in the pastures and also the fence lines, because we got the extra big one. Then let's read it together. It's 100 liters. So yeah, it has its own 12-volt motor. So there's no pumpity. And yeah, it has a lance, and it has power cord 5 meters. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so yeah, we'll get that set up here at some point. But we need to get that out because the lagoon is now full and it's starting to back up into the pans because we're flooding. I know, man, we got those beaver dams out of here just in time. It's actually halfway up the culvert, going as fast as it possibly can. That is moving. So it's well over 3 feet tall. As you can see, it's starting to lay down because it's so damp now. And starting to see that pale purple, pinky, starts to turn almost white. That's it getting to this first stuff getting to the end of flowering. So yeah, we need to get cutting. But there's still no clear window in sight. So hurry up and wait. It's definitely looking a lot better than it did. But you can see it's soaking. So what would you do on Canada Day when you and the boss ladies full of this dang head cold that's going around? Gardening work. So, as you can see, there's lots of weeds in the Zen garden. And yes, for those who know Piper Doug well, he has his boulder addiction. So yeah, all these boulders have come from different parts of the farm. It's the same as that one. So this part back here wouldn't grow very good grass, and it's hard to get any other plants to grow back here. Kind of grows weeds and kind of really thin grass. So we had a couple of loads of this is actually road gravel. They call it A-base. So we bought a couple of loads, and then we had a whole bunch of these pavers that are rejects that were at Fraser auction. So we built a little windy path. And then we've just been collecting plants and planting them and seeing which ones will last long enough to actually make a go of it. But I've actually noticed a few plants died this year. There's one here and there's one around the front. So I'm going to segue into a little video here. So this is the boss lady being interviewed on CBC radio, which is like the national radio. This is the provincial web of that arm of that radio. So this is out of Winnipeg, and this is like the big subject right now with online school bullying, children getting groomed and whatnot. So right up the boss lady's area of expertise. So yeah, they got a hold of her and asked if she would be on there and be questioned by, have other people throw questions at her. So yeah, I'll put a little segment in here. So Proud of that lady.
Our next guest, for our next guest stories about childhood violence hit close to home. Now, Val Caldwell works as a child safety advocate and often visits schools in both Manitoba and Saskatchewan speaking to kids about bullying. But she says she was heavily bullied during her childhood. And even though years have gone by, it's something that still affects her. And Val joins us now via Zoom. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show, Val.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
We heard from our reporter Brandon Michelle McDougall in the first half of our show. How often do you hear stories like the one that came out in Brandon last week?
Obviously not specifically like that, but I would say, in every school that I visit, I have conversations with kids about them experiencing bullying, whether it's cyberbullying, whether it's social or relational bullying. So I would definitely say that I'm hearing lots of stories from kids about experiencing bullying.
You said you hear lots of stories. Obviously, we're not going to identify anybody, but what kind of stories do you hear? What are some of the things that you hear from the kids that you talk to about what they're experiencing or what they're seeing?
Yeah, through my work, when I'm speaking with kids, a lot of it is about online because I, do presentations about online safety. So a lot of what I hear from kids is the bullying on apps like Snapchat, where people are sending them, messages that magically disappear or creating group chats about them. And then I can think of one story where it was a group of girls had created a group chat on Snapchat specifically targeting one girl in their class. And then they invited that girl into the group so she could see everything that was being said about her, and then they kicked her back out again. So those are some of the types of stories I hear a lot. I do hear about the physical bullying or the exclusion in schools as well, but a lot of the stories will come around that online piece, and a lot of times it'll start in person and then